We expect a slowdown in sales into the election. Historically speaking, home sales typically slow down in the fall following the spring and summer rush. So will the election impact this even more? This is what Ollie Wolf, chief economist at Zonda, anticipates will happen. Usually, home sales are unchanged compared to a non-election year, with the exception being November. In an election year, November is slower than normal. Basically, people get nervous about making big decisions during election time. But this slowdown is just temporary. History shows that home sales bounce back in December and keep going up the next year. For instance, data from the Department of Housing and Urban Development (HUD) and the National Association of Realtors (NAR) shows that in 9 of the last 11 presidential elections, home sales increased the following year since 1978. Election years are in blue, and if sales went up the next year, it's marked in green. The only instances sales dropped after an election are shown in orange in 1981 and in 1989. Now, what about home prices? Do they take a hit during election years? Not really. Ryan Lundquist, a residential appraiser and housing analyst, says an election year doesn't alter the price trend that is already happening in the market. Home prices are pretty resilient. They usually go up year over year, no matter what. NAR's latest data shows that after 7 of the last 8 presidential elections, home prices went up the following year. The only time prices dropped after an election, marked in orange, was during the housing market crash in 2009. Mortgage rates should continue to trend down, making 2025 a much improved year. Looking back at the last 11 presidential election years, data from Freddie Mac shows that mortgage rates dropped from July to November in 8 of them. See the table below. There's no doubt that the past few years have been rocked by mortgage rate volatility, and while experts aren't projecting a big drop, steady decline in mortgage rates means better affordability for a lot of buyers out there. The bottom line is that continued mortgage rate decreases will make 2025 a much improved year for real estate volume. However, that said, prevailing 30-year rates hovering around 6% are still about 50% higher than the average on the run active mortgage at just under 4%, which will still mean a return to post-COVID record high activity. Could take decades.